God, it's super echoey in here and I'm so sorry. This is where I have like the best lighting, so hopefully the audio isn't too bad. If it is, just work with me, okay? Trying something new for this video because, you know, sometimes it just gets tiring doing the same old, same old. I have a lot of fun getting ready with my girls and talking to them, so I want to do that today. I want to try it. I've had some people request that I do this. If this isn't necessarily the way you like hearing story times, that's fine. You don't have to be all upset. I just want to have some fun and try something new, okay? So let me do me. But don't worry, today's story time will be a host stepsister story time. So, I mean, all is not lost, okay? So relax. I did bring you guys a little bit closer because I will be doing my makeup. Last time I did a get ready with me, I didn't do it close enough. So I'm trying to think of everybody and everything, but you know, I can't please everybody all the time. I'm saying this because I know my Glamazons and they don't do well with change. Okay, enough with the disclaimers. Today's story time is going to be, if YouTube would let me name my own videos the way that I would like to, I feel like the title to this video would be hilarious, okay? I was gonna name this video The Hoe Stro. Found her on the corner? Yeah, okay, let's do that. Okay, I think that might work. That in a nutshell is basically what happened. So story time, found her ass on the corner. Before we jump into getting ready and doing all that and the story time, as usual, today's glamour shot of the day is my gorgeous Glamazon, Raffian _ Angel Eyes. But this is my girl, okay? She wrote this amazing description in her Instagram post about me and how much she loves me. It just meant the entire world to me. So thank you so much for just loving me and showing me all of your love and support. I could not do this without y'all, and I would not be here without y'all. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now let's get into getting ready in this story time. All my Glamazons were asking for this type of video. Some of my Glamazons didn't want me to do it because they say that people have a hard time like paying attention while they're getting ready. But I think I can do this because honestly, I do this type of shit with my friends. Whenever we're like going somewhere, like of course we all get ready together and we like share stories and we be gossiping and you know what the girls do. So I feel like I got this. Before y'all ask, I already did my eyebrows off camera because I have not gotten them threaded yet and I had to carve the hell out of them for them to even look decent. Y'all don't want to see that mess. So we're moving on. I'm going to start on the eyes. If you guys want to know what I'm using in this video, just check in the description box below. I don't want to stop the story and be like, today I'm using this. I'm going to be looking crazy throughout a lot of this video, so just work with me. So this story time takes place when I was like 16 years old, right? And we were still living in those apartment complexes that were like all near each other when I was going to the shitty school. And this was like during the summertime because we didn't have school. I remember that. We were living in this apartment complex. Ariel and I were sharing a room and all that. So this was the summer between my freshman and sophomore year, right? As most of you guys know, when we lived in this apartment complex, like we would all hang out with the neighborhood kids that went to both of our schools. Now, we're gonna rewind this a little bit, okay? So we're gonna rewind it a few months and when we were still in school, like it wasn't summer yet. And Ariel had this friend, and I'm gonna call her, she was actually in one of my other stories about the time that I found out Ariel was going to Planned Parenthood. I remember in that story time, I had told y'all about this friend, and I called her little hoe friend. We had moved, and she was still talking to that friend. Okay, well that's this girl, okay? She's gonna make her entrance in this video. We'll call her like Chantel. I don't know why, we just will, okay? Also, before I get started into this, I'm going for like a spring look, super original, but that's what I'm going for today, okay? Now, like I said, Ariel was held back a grade when she was younger, so she was older than all of her friends and like everyone in her grade. Chantel was a year younger than Ariel, but they were like best friends at the moment. Ariel kind of like hopped around from friend to friend, right? But at this very moment, Chantel was her best friend. I honestly didn't have a problem with Chantel until I started seeing that she was like in a lot of drama and Ariel would be pulled into that drama. And she was not like a good influence on Ariel at all. And like every time I would talk to Ariel and like, you know, sometimes she'd have Chantel come over and like hang out. Chantel had a new man, like had a new boyfriend or had somebody else that she was talking to or was like talking to like multiple dudes at once. And like she was just very messy and very young. Like she was super young to be that messy, right? So Chantel and Ariel were best friends. And sometimes Chantel would come over after school and sometimes Ariel would actually go over to her house because, you know, it was our room. So whenever Chantel would come over, I would either have to leave the room or I would have to like sit there and like listen to this little girl with all her drama. And at this time, my best friend, my home skillet biscuit, was Alicia. If Ariel wanted to hang out with Chantel, I would tell her to go to Chantel's house because me and Alicia were trying to chill at our house. So like, I'm the oldest, I get the room, I get the apartment, because our apartment really was not that big, okay? So I was like, you go to your friend's house. And I had been over to her apartment before to see like where she lives and how she lives and who's like in her house, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that Ariel would be fine over there. I knew her mom and everything, so like I would tell her, y'all go hang out over there. So this was like during the school year, right? And as school was like ending for the summer, Chantel and Ariel were spending a lot of time together. It went from like 2-3 times a week of them hanging out to like every day. Everything was super normal. Like I had my own thing going on with Alicia. She had her own thing going on with her bestie, Chantel, or whatever. But then I started noticing some changes in Ariel as far as like her demeanor and how she would speak and like what she was wearing. And she would like come home with like a shit ton of makeup on, you guys. I could tell that like something in Ariel was shifting. She already thought she was grown, but when she would come home from Chantel, she really, in her mind, would think that she was grown. Like that little girl Chantel was like getting in her head, and like she was like showing up at home with like all this makeup on and shit. When I started noticing Ariel coming home like that, one day I brought it up to her and I was like, hey, I was like, what are you and Chantel be doing when y'all hang out? You know, I was like trying to get like a little bit of an idea. I was trying to be a little nosy. You know, like we'll do makeup or whatever. She was like, sometimes she talks to her boyfriend on the phone. And she was like, yeah, you know, her mom really doesn't care. And sometimes her boyfriend will come over. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah. She was like, so we'll all just like chill together, but that's about it. Like we don't really do much else. She was like, and then we just like hang out for the rest of the day and then I come home. And I was like, oh, okay. So when she told me that Chantel's little boyfriends be coming over, it like a red flag went up for me. And I was like, hold up. So summer comes around and I start hanging out with Alicia, obviously, a lot. Ariel does the same thing and hangs out with Chantel. We would like, you know, get up late and obviously like stay up late and then get up late or whatever, you know, normal teenage shit. But within like the first 2 weeks of summer, I started noticing that Ariel was getting up pretty early in the morning, like for her, and getting ready and like leaving and going to Chantel's house. And she would stay there all day, and I wouldn't hear from her that much. Like she would just like stay over there all day before our parents came home. And at first I didn't mind it. I was like, yes, you know, like I have a break. And I would like invite Alicia over and I would like do my own thing, and I kind of felt relieved that, you know, Ariel had a friend to hang out with and I didn't have to entertain her or hang out with her, you know, because I was like going through my own thing. I was 16, like of course I don't want to hang out with my little sister. And then one day Alicia came over, and like Alicia lived in our same apartment. She just lived in a different building, but she legit lived like right next to me, right? It was kind of early in the morning. It was like 9 in the morning, and I had just gotten out of bed, and like she usually didn't come over that early, so I thought it was kind of weird. But I heard her knock on the door and it was Alicia, so I let her in. Apparently she had been fighting with her mans, and you know, she starts telling me about that, and they had been up all night texting back and forth or whatever. And so, you know, we like talk about this for like a good 2 hours, right? You know, like the long ass talks about like how could he do that? You know, he's so dumb, like what's going on or whatever. That was like her first, you know, so like her and her man they would fight a lot. And I remember telling y'all this, like they would like be on and off, right? Alicia just seemed like on a whole other level kind of tired, okay? And like she was heartbroken, but she was like upset. And so we started talking about it or whatever. After a while, about 2 hours passed and we're like still talking about it. And finally she was like, you know what? I don't want to talk about it no more. Like F him or whatever. She was like, I just want to forget about it and I just want to like move on. She was like, can we go somewhere today? And I was like, yeah, where are you trying to go? And she was like, you want to go to the mall? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'd love to go to the mall. We lived right by an RTD bus stop, which is our city bus. Anytime we wanted to go anywhere, that was our way of getting there, right? Thank God we only had to get on one bus to get to the mall. We start getting ready. It takes us about an hour to get ready. Alicia had taken off and gone home to like change her outfit. And you know, we try to get into something cute. And then we take off. Alicia and I go to the mall, right? And I meet up with this guy that I had been talking to. Like he was just like some eye candy for me. And he had brought his friend, and so Alicia started talking to his friend. And so we're just like having so much fun. And y'all remember that place? I think it was called like Hot Dog on a Stick. They had to wear those stupid uniforms, like bright colored with the hat. Our friends from school worked there. And so she used to hook us up with free food. So we were getting free food and like we were talking to these dudes. We were just living our best life, right? We wanted to go to the movies with these guys, but like we didn't have no money. So we stayed at the mall for like a good 4 or 5 hours. Like we stayed there for a long time in the food court with these two dudes, one of which I'm talking to and the other one is his friend that Alicia's talking to. And the guy that I'm talking to, we'll name him Mike. Alicia and the other dude are like having their own combo. And so Mike and I are sitting next to each other and we're doing our own thing, right? Out of nowhere, while we were talking, he was like, hey, don't you have a sister? And like I always got really weird when guys would ask that because like, why do you want to know? Like she's young, like she's like in middle school, like why do you care? Like, yeah, why? Like, doesn't she go to so-and-so middle school? And I was like, yeah. And like at this point I was like, what's your point? Like, why are you asking about my little sister? I'm only asking because my brother goes to school with her. And I was like, oh, for real? And he was like, yeah. So we started talking about that and he's like, my brother had a crush on her for a minute. And I was like, oh, that's cute and everything. I was like, did he ever try to talk to her? And he was like, nah, he ended up getting with this other girl. And I was like, oh, for real? And he was like, yeah. He was like, but that girl was so nasty. He starts going off on this tangent about this girl that his brother had been talking to or whatever that went to my sister's school. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, you know, this little girl, he was like, you know, she's like 12, but like, he was like, she's really fast, messed around on my brother, and we caught her cheating or whatever. And I was like, what? Like, he's spilling all this tea, right? He was like, he wanted to talk to your sister, but I don't think your sister would want to talk to him. And I was like, likelihood of my sister not wanting to talk to a dude is slim to none. Like, you give her attention, she'll take it. Like, why wouldn't she want to talk to him? And he was like, because he was like, apparently that girl that he was dating is like one of your sister's best friends. So I just sat there and I was like, really? Not to be messed up or like no shade, no tea, but Ariel didn't really have a whole lot of friends. Like she would have friends for this long and then she would do them dirty or they would like fight for some reason and then they weren't friends no more. So when he said that, immediately Chantel's little ass popped up in my head and I was like, hold up, wait a minute. I was like, is it Chantel? I was like, is that who your brother dated? And he just sat there, he goes, yeah. He was like, you know her? Unfortunately, yes. All of that happened with Chantel. I said, Chantel was like cheating on your brother and everything. He's like, man, once he knew that I knew who Chantel was, he, like, you guys, didn't hold back at all. He starts telling me all the tea, right? And he was like, yeah, my brother's on the basketball team at his school and like his friends were telling him that like, you know, that little girl Chantel was a hoe and like that they had all like messed around with her at least once. And I was like, what do you mean? And like, I just wanted him to be like a little bit more specific. Like, what you mean messed around with her? Like, was talking to her or what? So he leans over and he was like, apparently she's been giving BJs to the dudes on the basketball team in the locker room. What now? Are you kidding me right now? Are you serious? Like, this little 12-year-old little girl. So like I start going off and I was like, this is why I don't like my sister hanging out with her. Like, I'm gonna talk to my sister tonight. You know, I don't like that kind of shit. Like, what the hell? And he was like, yeah, you know, he was like, my brother was all upset and like embarrassed. You know, all his friends knew this about her or whatever. And like, they were making fun of him. Back then, I would always find out stuff because, you know, the middle school and high schools were so close together that like my friends knew her friends and like vice versa and like siblings and stuff. So me finding this out, I was like, oh, hell no. And I was so honest with Ariel and I was like, I would let her know straight up if I didn't like her friends. I start plotting and planning like this conversation is gonna be had. I'm gonna tell her you're not allowed to be hanging out with her no more. Like I didn't want my sister associated with that kind of shit. Like I really didn't. Ariel was having a hard enough time on her own making friends, much less with this little girl creating this reputation for herself and my sister's her best friend. You know, like that's not a good look. I feel like I got a lot more upset than I should have, but like this was like in the beginning of the holism, so I really didn't know how to handle it at this point. I got so upset, you guys, that I wanted to go home. Like right now, I wanted to go home because back then I just cared a lot about what other people thought about me and also about her. I immediately wanted to leave, and I told him, I was like, I have to go. And he was like, why? And I was like, I need to talk to my sister. I was so mad. I was like, I'm not about to have her, you know, hanging out with this little girl or whatever, and she get that reputation, right? This boy for real looked at me and he goes, too late. And when he said that, I was like, boy, what? I got so serious and so mad. I was like, what? I was like, what did you just say? And he was like, no. He was like, I'm just playing. I was like, don't be playing like that. I was like, what are you talking about? It's not even that big of a deal. He was like, you making a big deal out of it. I said, it is a big deal. These are little girls. He was like, they ain't that little. And you know, he starts like kind of talking shit and he thinks it's funny. I just didn't find shit like that funny. I was like, you know, don't be sitting up there kidding around about my sister being a hoe. Like, this isn't fucking funny. He and I started getting loud. I was like, what? I was like, you've been hearing stuff about my sister? Tell me. I said, what have you heard? And he was like, nothing. He was like, I don't want to be involved. He was like, you know, I don't want to upset you or whatever. So he like starts backing up or whatever. And Alicia starts hearing me get loud. And so she's like, Nikki, what's the matter? And I was like, we need to go. We need to go right now. I was like, I need to go talk to Ariel. And she was like, oh shit. And she was like, why? What now? As most of y'all know, Alicia was not Ariel's biggest fan, okay? I got really defensive when it came to Ariel and like, you know, some of the shit that, I wasn't stupid. I knew that she was most likely doing stuff like this at school or whatever, but I just didn't like hearing about it, and I didn't like people making fun of her about it. Like, I just, you know, for it to be like in my face, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't like it. So I didn't say nothing to him, and I was like so pissed. And I was like, you know, Alicia, let's just go. We start walking over to the park and ride, Alicia and I, and it's like right next to the mall, right? And our bus isn't coming for like another 10, 15 minutes. So we sit there and we're like sitting on the bench. And so she was like, what happened? What's the matter? So I started telling her, and I was like, you know, I don't want, you know, guys to start disrespecting Ariel. I said, it's just really dangerous when they feel that way about you, because then they think that they can do whatever they want, even if Ariel weren't to want it. Does that make sense? Like, if they think, oh, this girl just does that, and you know, this is just what they're about, and then they like make a move on her, and for some reason Ariel just ain't feeling it, what happens then? You know, like, this is where bad things happen. And also, I just don't want her to be associated with that. Like, what the hell? I tell Alicia everything, and I'm like, you know, I don't like that little girl. I knew I didn't like that little girl. I was like, and before it was just like speculation and just like me not liking the fact that she was just talking to a lot of dudes all the time. But now it's like real. Like, she's for real doing shit like that during school, and like everybody knows and thinks it's funny, and like Ariel's a part of that, right? And you know, this wasn't the first time that dudes would like tell me what my sister was doing, or like who she was hanging out with, or you know, what she was involved in, and like they just thought it was so funny, and I would get really embarrassed. You guys, I was legit preparing myself to like go over to Chantel's house and drag my sister out of there myself, while telling that little girl why. Like, I don't have no problem telling you why I don't want my sister hanging out with you. Like, I don't want this type of reputation for her. And like, by the way, everyone thinks that you're a joke. Ariel and I didn't get along all the time, but like, I did genuinely love her, and I wanted what was best for her. And I just didn't want that type of stigma attached to her. Like, how embarrassing, you know, not just for me, like me aside, but like for her too. You know, everybody that's going to this middle school is most likely going to go to your high school, and like, I don't want you to ruin this for yourself before you even get started, you know. And Alicia and I were going back and forth, and Alicia just had the mentality of just like, leave it alone. And I just, you guys, I really should have left it alone, because you can't change people. But back then I was like, no, I'm not gonna leave her alone with this. She needs to know that like dudes are talking about her like this, and like they just genuinely think that about her. And this was like a common argument that Alicia and I would have. Alicia just thought that her big thing was, you care more about her than she cares about herself, and you really need to stop. And I didn't know how to do that. I kind of felt bad for Ariel sometimes. I loved Ariel. I had like a soft spot for her, and I just felt like, this is my job. I'm her big sister. Like, I take this shit serious, and I don't want this for her, man. Like, I don't care if she wants to shit for herself. She don't know no better. Like, that's how I was thinking. So like, here we go, off to fight a battle that's not mine to fight. So finally the bus gets there, right? And I remember there were so many people at this bus stop, and like so many people were getting on the bus, and it was damn near full. So Alicia and I finally get on, and we're still talking about it or whatever, and Alicia's just trying to tell me like, you know, basically there ain't nothing you can do, like she's gonna do whatever she wants to do anyway. And you know, she was like, I understand why you're so upset, but you got to realize that you can't control her, basically, right? Right in front of us, so you guys know how like there's rows of seats and buses, right? So Alicia and I were sitting there, and right in front of us there was an old couple, and it was the lady up against the window, and then I'm guessing like her husband next to her, right? And we're sitting behind them, and Alicia and I keep talking and minding our own business. It's like a 15-20 minute drive from the mall to where we live, to our neighborhood, right? So where we lived, we could get off at one of like 3 different stops, and like we still would be close enough to walk home. So Alicia and I had decided to get off on the second stop. The second bus stop was by a King Soopers. If y'all don't know what it is, it's our grocery store over here. So on the bus ride over, Alicia did a really good job of like calming me down and like basically talking some sense into me. So by the time we got near our neighborhood, I had calmed down quite a bit, like thanks to Alicia, right? But we passed the first stop, right? Because we're gonna get off on the second one near the King Soopers. Bus starts taking off, right? And we're like going down the street, and I was looking down at something. I think I was like looking down at my purse or whatever. And out of nowhere, the little old lady that's sitting in the seat in front of us next to the window, she goes, and look at this mess right here. So obviously I hear that and I'm like, ooh, what happened? Both me and Alicia at the same time, we look at the window like, what? I see 2 girls walking on the sidewalk, and they're like down the street, but they're coming this way and the bus is going this way. So we're about to pass them. And immediately I recognize one of them as Ariel. And she is wearing a short mini jean skirt that I had never seen in my life, a crop top with her stomach showing. Then she had heels on, y'all. Heels that were legit like 5.5 inches tall. And they had like the ribbon that goes around your leg, like all the way up your leg, and then you tie it, you know? And a shit ton of makeup. Y'all, my sister looked like she was trying to find work on that corner. I'm not even kidding. Her friend dressed exactly the same way, except she had on like shorts instead of a skirt. None of what Ariel had on was hers. None of it. Because I mean, we shared a room. So I knew what her clothes looked like, and none of those were her clothes. All of that was her little friends. So you gotta pull the little string that's above the window to like let the bus driver know that you want to get off at the next stop. So I start pulling that, and the light was already on, like the bus was already gonna stop there, but I started pulling it anyway because I wanted to get off there. I wanted to get off in the middle of the street, not at a bus stop, just let me off here. And so I started telling the bus driver, stop, stop, stop. He looked up in the mirror like at me, and he was like, we're going to the next stop. And I was like, no, it's an emergency. Please let me off the bus right now, right now. And so I'm like getting my stuff. I was like, right now. So he stops the bus, you guys, mid-traffic, not at a bus stop, like people start honking or whatever. I don't give a damn. So I hop off the bus, and by this time they had already like passed the bus, so they're like walking this way. So I jump off the bus. She's right behind me, and she was like, oh fuck no. Like she knew exactly why I was so mad, and she was like, I know they are not out here looking like that. Like what is going on? And I was like, Ariel. She didn't hear me. Either she pretended like she didn't hear me, or she just genuinely didn't hear me because there were so many like cars coming, right? Y'all, I start jogging, and I'm like running after her. And while I was running after her, a car was like coming up behind the bus, and because the bus was like just taking off, that car was like at a stop. Y'all, I just see these dudes. It's like a bunch of dudes in this car. And they roll down their window and they're talking, both Chantel and Ariel. And I can't hear what they're saying, but I just see that car pull right up to the side of them. And they're like damn near hanging out the window. And these dudes are like men. They're grown ass men, okay? Talking to my little sister and her little fucking friend. I was so mad. And so I like, when I see that, I start running faster, and I'm like, Ariel, Ariel. So she finally like looks at me, and you guys, she looked like she wanted to die. What the fuck? What are you doing right now? Like, what are you doing? And that car is still right there. So the bus starts taking off, and everybody starts moving, right? Those guys, like, they start like, oh damn, like look, there are more of them. Look, look. Yeah, y'all trying to chill? Y'all trying to chill? Come on, like let's go chill. Where y'all live at? I pulled on her skirt, and I was like, what's this? I said, what is all this that you got on? Those dudes were still right there, and when they saw what I was doing, and like they heard me, they were like, oh shit. They all started laughing. They were like, damn. I'm like talking to Ariel. Ariel don't have nothing to say. She's still just shocked. She's embarrassed, I could tell. And she was like, what? Nikki, hold on. And I was like, no, hold on. I said, you're gonna take your ass with me. I said, we're going home. Out of nowhere, there, this little girl decides to get loud with me, Chantel. And she was like, what you trying to say about my clothes? And I said, that they look like hoe clothes? I'm sorry, I'm not about to beat around the bush and be sugarcoating shit. You're 12 years old, what you mean? What's wrong with your clothes? If your mom lets you wear that kind of shit, that's on you and your mom. That's your business. But as for my sister, absolutely not. Let me get my mom over here and let her see Ariel dressed like this and see what the hell happens to both you and her. Don't be trying to sit up here and talk to me crazy. So I end up stepping toe to toe with Chantel's little 12-year-old ass. Now keep in mind, I'm 16 years old and I was like, I will beat the shit out of you. Do not get into my family business. Do not try to tell me nothing. I said, you are the reason why my sister is a joke to everybody at y'all school because of the shit that you do. And Ariel was just like, we just wanted to have fun and we wanted to dress up and just, you know. I said, dress up? I said, this is y'all's definition of dressing up? I said, not like, you know, all cute or whatever, not like a cute little summer outfit, but this right here? I was like, really? Tell me why. I look down, I see a tattoo on her arm. It was like a star or something, or like a heart or like something real girly like that. And I saw it on her arm right here. Y'all, they had put on some temporary tattoos to match with their little fucking outfits. To bring their little outfits together, they decided to put on some tattoos, okay? So she had a tattoo here, and she also had one like right on her waist. And remember, she had on a crop top, so all her stomach is showing. And the whole time, Alicia just stayed quiet, but she kept like just shaking her head like, I can't even, this is so dumb. Ariel, we're going home now. That little girl, Chantel, she was like, well, how do I get my clothes? I said, I don't know, and I don't really care. I said, why don't you send your mom over to my house? You can talk to my mom, and then you can get your clothes back that way. I said, because I'm not really concerned with you right now. I said, you need to get out of my face, Chantel. This little bitch, she looked at Ariel and she was like, now I see what you mean about her. Like, to be real with y'all, I hurt my feelings, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, you be talking bad about me to your friends? I was like, what'd you say, Ariel? That I care a lot, that I catch you lying all the time, that I don't want you to get hurt, that I don't want you to get made fun of, that I don't want you to be seen as a school hoe? Is that what you're telling her? I said, it's moments like these that you need to think about. Whenever you're up late at night talking to me until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, talking about how these little boys are breaking your heart and why you can't make friends and you don't understand why you're so lonely and why nobody likes you and how come people are making fun of you. I say, you remember all those conversations in the middle of the night? So I looked at Ariel and I was like, you know what? I was like, never mind. You stay here. You do whatever it is that you want to do. You get kidnapped or abducted or whatever. I said, whatever. Because I'm tired of you treating me like that. And I'm tired of you talking bad about me because I care. I said, you know what? I don't have to care. Do it. I said, go have fun. Go walk around like this. Go be disrespected. Go get made fun of. Go be without friends. I said, go, Ariel. She walks away with Chantel. I'm so mad. I'm so hurt. And Alicia and I walked back to our apartments or whatever. And here I was thinking that we were in this shit together, with our parents being together and all the shit that we go through. But silly me, you think I'm the problem because I care about you and I give a damn. Okay. So yeah, that was one of the most ridiculous things that I had ever caught Ariel doing. I don't know what it was. I don't know why. I mean, y'all let me know down below if y'all have ever done anything like that. Like, just like dressed ridiculously or like just like tried something out of the ordinary just to know what it feels like. Like, that was her reasoning. I remember she was just like, I just wanted to know what it felt like and it didn't feel good and I didn't like it or whatever. But let me know down below if you guys have ever had a moment like that. I've always been too scared. I don't know, like I just my mind couldn't understand it. I was like, why? Like, out of everything that you could do on a summer day, why that? Like, but y'all let me know your thoughts. I'm gonna go get ready real fast and like go put on my outfit and I'll be right back to show y'all. Okay, hold on. Huge shout out to my friends over at Pretty Little Thing for sponsoring this video and sending me some cute outfits for the spring, including this one. These are the long satin pink trousers with a plain white bodysuit. I will leave the links down below. Definitely check them out for your spring and summer outfit needs. They have the cutest stuff and I can even wear it while I'm preggo.
So yes, girls.
So that is it for today's story time, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was the time that I legit caught Ariel doing the most on the side of a street. I don't know if she ever did this again. We had that conversation and then we never really talked about it again. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this story. If you did, please don't forget to give me a huge thumbs up. I also enjoyed getting ready with you guys. This will not be the norm. This took a lot of prep and a lot of work. I probably won't be able to do as much of as I get further along in my pregnancy, but it was fun nonetheless. A special thank you to my friends at Pretty Little Thing for sending me these clothes. This is some cute clothes. I was really worried that I wasn't gonna fit into some of them because I'm pregnant, but like, girl, no, they have something for everybody. So if you guys haven't checked them out yet, definitely do so. I was shopping with them before I was even like working with them, and I think they have some of the cutest stuff, some of which I can't wear right now and I'm so heartbroken, but definitely check them out. Let them know Nikki sent you. And if you guys would like some outfit details on what I'm wearing right now, head over to my Instagram. I will have everything there. Also, make sure that you're keeping an eye on my Instagram page because I will be having some giveaways coming up here in the next few weeks, giving away like different clothing items to recreate my look. So make sure that you are following me over there. Find me under Nikki Glamour on Instagram, and so that way you guys aren't missing out on those giveaways because I'm super excited. But thank you guys so much for coming and chilling with me for story time. And I will see you guys really soon back here on my channel. Peace out.